It's automatic here at Centennial High School for girls soccer. Cougar season. At the end of a high school girls soccer season, a stop in the section finals. The 8th straight trip to the section finals for the Centennial girls. One win away from the 2021 state tournament, and standing in their way, the Andover Huskies tonight on North Metro TV. Good evening alongside Bill Hupp. I'm J.W. Cox. And Bill, 8 straight trips here. You know this is a program that's bordering on dynasty, if not already there. This year, though, it's an experienced group of seniors that has carried that mantle of the good teams that have come before.
Yeah, JW, 9 senior starters and a first-year manager in Krista Carlson. But having that continuity with 9 senior starters that have been here before, that have made the state tournament and had success at the state tournament level, that really helps when it comes to continuity and making sure that you can sustain success as a program.
You're that good for that long, you're going to meet some of the same teams over the course of these great seasons. That's the case with tonight's matchup. The Andover Huskies, the Centennial Cougars, well-earned playoff history. Go all the way back to the bank at 2016. Centennial in the semis against Andover, and it looked tough for the Cougars early. Megan Vatney scored for Andover in the first half, the lone goal of that first half. So the Cougars from behind in half number 2, McKenna Gieske ties things up with about 19 minutes left. Anna Swaven playing great in net all game long. That allows for the game-winning goal with 12 minutes to go from Ashley Ebling. Cougars a game later would be state champs in 2016. Fast forward, same section now in 2019 at Andover, the 1 versus the 2. The Cougars, well, they got the Kaya Harper show on track. Started with the penalty kick, followed it up herself, 1-0 Cougars. Kelsey Callio, though, got a penalty kick of her own to tie the game for the front-running Andover Huskies, but then it was all Kaya from there on out. 2 more goals to complete the hat trick and the section title for the Centennial Cougars in 2019. They would go on to win last year's section title as well, looking this year for their 3rd in a row right there in Section 7-3A. Again, the last 7 trips to this game, they are 5-2 and taking home those section titles. You look at it, the Cougars against Andover, they've owned this series of late, including those 2 playoff matchups, Bill. But for Andover, they're going to get a win today. Brenna Hudson, who has been their big-time scorer throughout and has done so in the playoffs, she's going to have to come to the fore.
11 goals on the season to lead all scorers for the Huskies, and big-time players have to come in big games, and this is as big as it gets for Andover. So they're going to need Brenna to lead the line, to lead a young team filled with talented sophomores on the road in a tough environment against a team as successful and powerful as Centennial. They come in underdogs. They've already played them once this season and lost 5-1, but certainly players like Brenna Hudson can hope to change that tonight.
Well, back in 2019, Lauren Ollis was that sophomore for the Cougars that time who stepped up, made big plays and big moments. This year now, Ollis is a senior. She's continued to do that, most impressively perhaps on the assist side of things, picking up big-time set pieces as we saw in the semifinals, but she can get it done scoring goals as well.
She certainly can. She's got 12 goals this season, 5 assists in this postseason, so she leads the Cougars in goals and assists, and named a Miss Soccer semifinalist today, so certainly a huge honor for her. And we talk about how there's 9 seniors. The scoring's really well distributed on the Centennial team, but certainly Lauren Ollis is one of the captains, one of the leaders for this team, and one of the players that the Cougars will look to tonight.
Over the last 3 seasons, over 30 assists, over 20 goals for Ollis, the senior, who has helped propel this team to this point. The other thing, Bill, propelling this team here, you can never discount the Cougar defense. They have been a shutout, shutdown defense all year long. They'll look to continue that again. 2 shutouts already in this section tournament.
Well, absolutely, JW, and it starts with defense for the Cougars. They have a really solid net keeper in Jordan Metz, the sophomore, and a really veteran back line. And they rely on that back line, and it starts with defense for the Cougars. And then they're able to get some scoring up front, timely scoring when they need to. They pulled away the other night against Duluth East, scoring 3 times late to make it a 4-0 game. But for most of that game, it looked like defense was going to be the thing that got them to the section final.
The last time the Cougars were not in a section final game, the oldest players on these teams that will go tonight were fourth grade candidates to be the ball kids here at Cougar Stadium. Now, a year after they missed an opportunity to actually play in the state tournament, though they were section champs, the Cougars are just one game away from going back to the state tournament here in 2021. The kickoff of the 7 3A championship game coming your way next, and it's all right here on North Metro TV.
Wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
And we're back here at Cougar Stadium as the starters are being announced for both teams. Centennial and Andover getting ready to get going. The two teams being announced in what should be an absolutely dynamite game of soccer. Centennial coming in with a record of 16-1 on the season, the top seed in this Section 7 AAA. And they won the Northwest Suburban Conference on 36 points. Their only loss this season to Maple Grove, 2-1. That loss snapping an 18-game winning streak. Also the only time they've allowed more than a goal all season. They pitched 11 shutouts this season. So one of the top defensive teams in the conference, of course, and in the state. These two teams played in the regular season. Cougars beat Andover by a score of 5-1. Ali Hamsky had a goal and an assist in that game for Centennial. Andover, meanwhile, comes in second seeded, a record of 12-6 on the season. They've won 8 of 9 coming in, including a 2-0 victory over Blaine in the section semifinals. They lost to Centennial, as we said, back on Saturday, September 18th. Step aside for the national anthem. National anthem here at Cougar Stadium as we get set to have Section 7 AAA final soccer between top seed Centennial and number 2 Andover. And with the call of tonight's action, J.W. Cox.
Thanks, Bill. Glad to be here once again at Cougar Stadium. They're not always here at Cougar Stadium, but we are always seemingly in a section championship game 8 straight years. Cougars, 2 different sections, and here they are again in this one. And Andover, Bill, obviously is going to be a tough customer here. They have earned their way to this game. You know that they are going to fight in this one, so the Cougars still have to bring their A game yet again.
Yeah, no question. Anytime you're in a section final, you can't take anything for granted. Certainly have to earn that berth in the state tournament. And Andover's a team with a lot of confidence. They're a team full of talented sophomores, as we talked about in the open. They've won 8 of 9 games coming in, and so they are playing with a lot of confidence. I mean, this is a team that finished 3rd in the Northwest Suburban Conference on 30 points. They play especially well in the second half. So this is certainly not a team that's going to come in scared of the environment. They're a young team, but they're brimming with confidence at the moment, and Centennial is going to have to take care of business. As Tracy Grace,
she has guided this program to great heights, 12 wins this year, 6-0 wins over Forest Lake, 2-0 win over Blaine. And Coach Grice has her team back here for the 6th time since 2012. Andover in the section title game. A couple of section titles that they won in 2016 and 2017. We are underway. A section title to be decided here in 7-3A. Glad you're with us. Cougars are in red here at home in the first half, going right to left. You mentioned it, Bill. First half strong for Andover. Well, we've seen the Cougars. Obviously, they can score at any point. That semifinal game, though, against Duluth East took them till the second half to get their first goal on the board.
Yeah, they scored 4 in the second half, couple off of set pieces, so certainly something to look for tonight. Lauren Alice, the key initiator of the offense, but also Brooklyn Bordson, always a threat as well.
Bordson tries to center this one back across as she took it down the right side, and it trails out of bounds. It gives us the first look defensively at Andover here as they turn the Cougars away on that first push down the field.
And here comes an Alice set piece.
So it was knocked off an Andover Husky. Lauren Alice, 2 of these turned into goals against Duluth East. Look for Sydney Cubes. That's where they were headed, and it never quite got there. Plucked out of the air by the keeper. And Araya Baker able to boom it down the field and change the field.
Yeah, they ran that set piece play to perfection the other night in the semifinal, hitting players on the back post twice in Allie Hamsky and Sydney Cubes. So they like to find their fullbacks on the back post for open headers, and that's been a key to their success, but well read by the defense right there for Andover.
Cougars quickly push it back up the field. Alicia Hoffman, a sophomore midfielder for the Andover Huskies, pushes it out along the far sideline. Cougar throw in deep into the corner. Knocked around down there by Addison Van Zee. It is, as Bill mentioned in the open, a balanced attack with scoring all over the place. 7 goals in the regular year, 1 in the postseason so far for Van Zee. Look at a couple of 9-goal scorers in Sarah Strading and Brooklyn Bordson. It is a number of those seniors and a number of those players in general that can step up at any given moment and give the Cougars a lead or give them a big goal.
And that's ideally what you want, JW. You want to have your offense diversified enough that a team can't just stop you by stopping one player, but and that's why you want to have as many versatile goal scorers as you can.
Brenna Hudson took it away, trying to make her way all the way up the field. Now at the midfield after it bounces off the feet of a couple of Cougars, sends it upfield on the way to Skyland Jorgensen, surrounded by a bunch of red jerseys. Now Cedar Jorgensen has it. Those 2 sisters up front will get the lion's share of the work offensively. And speaking of doing work, Brooklyn Bordson takes it away herself and sends it upfield. Goes wide on the right side. That's Strading. Ducking back towards the middle. Van Zee off the left foot, and it trickles just wide. Good attack by the Cougars again.
Sorry, JW. Van Zee went with her left foot there trying to steer it in, but I think she might have been better served if she'd tried to hook it in with her right foot or deflect it in at an angle. But the left foot kind of off the inside of it just kind of took it past the post.
Andover trying to get Audrey Swenson, to work her way up the sideline. Cougars make quick work of that, get possession back. Van Zee taps it to the middle. That one's launched by Ollis and wide and high to that left side. Goal kick coming up.
Well, we know based on her corner kicks and her free kicks that Lauren Ollis has a strong leg, and she's certainly demonstrated it there. Not a player that's afraid to shoot from distance.
Poked right back by the Cougars. That was Marissa Frost, who had a great assist on the second goal of that semifinal game. Put the stamp on that one late, able to send it upfield, eventually hit Sarah Strading. Jorgensen had it taken away. That was Caroline Loudinger. Able to step through, working with Allie Hamsky. It's interesting, these seniors, Bill, as we've been able to cover this team here at North Metro TV all throughout these runs to the section title and beyond. And these names have come of age, but they were playing key roles even as younger players, which is just another way that you can keep your program rolling on. They weren't the focal points, but as sophomores, Lauren Ollis, Sally Hamsky, even you go with Sydney Cubes at the defensive side of things. They were all playing significant time as Ollis sends that one bouncing into Baker, who makes the save, keeps it scoreless.
Yeah, no question about it, and that's why you look at starters like Marissa Frost and Addison Van Zee, both sophomores. They're going to be the next generation of senior leaders for this Cougars program, you'd think, and certainly having that diversity of age and having a little bit of youth in the lineup to sort of carry it on, so you're not just graduating all your contributors and having a new, inexperienced squad. That's part of the key, and that's why certain programs like Edina and Minnetonka and Centennial continue, and Maple Grove continue to produce quality teams year in and year out.
Swenson gets it up the far side. That's Hudson. Hudson down into the corner with it. Watched closely by Cubes. Knocked it away. The extra help comes over to knock it from Hudson. Sent back down and wide. No touch by a Cougar, so a goal kick coming up. Andover doing a good job to keep some pressure on the Cougars here. As we played just about 6 minutes here of this Section 7A championship game, 7-3A championship game. The Andover Huskies come into this game averaging just under 3 goals per contest. Their defense holding teams to under 1.5 goals per game. So they've played well on both sides of the ball to earn that 10-win mark in Northwest Suburban Conference play. They won 5 games in Section 7. Cougars just one more Section 7 victory as they went 6-0 in section play in the regular year. Footwork there from Cedar Jorgensen, the junior. 7 goals, 9 assists, 2 more goals in the postseason.
And JW, it's not just about the win if you're Centennial. You obviously you want to win, and that's the most important thing. But if you are Coach Krista Carlson, you're also trying to make sure that your team is playing its best soccer and peaking at the right time ahead of the state tournament, because your goal isn't just to get to the state tournament, but it's to have an impact. It's to advance as far as you can and continue this magical season that's seen just 1 loss this year.
Coach Carlson talked about that very point after they lost to Maple Grove, their lone loss on the season. And it was, okay, now this stretch down the rest of the regular season is what prepares us for section tournament play. And that means we have to be playing our best soccer right then. And all they did was go down the stretch and have 3 straight shutouts, including the first 2 in the postseason. In 10 of their last 13 games, the defense has been able to throw a shutout up there against the opponent. Taken away by McKenna Monson. Allie Hamsky right there in the middle. Cougars will turn it back with Cubes.
And because they like to play out of the back, it really does start with the likes of Cubes and Hamsky as far as the attack goes, and then gets up to the midfield to Bordson. But again, the playmaking ability of that back line is what really keys the offense for Centennial.
Whistle and a throw-in coming up for the Andover Huskies. Put their own stamp on this field, by the way. The little stuffed Huskies sitting at the substitution area in front of the scorer's table, right at the 50-yard line. away to Cubes. Akin to what you might see just a couple 100 feet to our right at a swim and dive meet here with the Cougar squad. Now I can't remember what animal it is they put up in the chair.
It's not a cougar?
It's not a cougar, I don't think. It would seem to make sense. I see where you're going with that. They put some sort of stuffed animal up there. Bringing any kind of luck they can into this section title matchup. Last 7 times the Cougars have been here, they've won 5 of those. You look at that run, section champs a year ago, section champs in 2019, lost in the state title game. Back-to-back section title game losses to Maple Grove, 2017 and 2018.
I'm sensing a theme here. Maple Grove being not only a conference opponent, but the real nemesis for Centennial and one of the few teams, the only team really, that's been able to compete with this Cougars powerhouse program in the last 8 years.
And the last time somebody other than Maple Grove knocked Centennial out of the section tournament was in 2010 when Moundsview did it. That was in the section semi.
I believe the only other team to beat Centennial in the past 3 seasons has been Champlin Park, and they had a fantastic team in 2018.
Bordson in the middle, tried to tap it through it. It was taken away. Good defense from Elizabeth Schmidt right there to take it off the foot of Bordson as she tried to find the angle in towards the net. And the Huskies looked to counter the other way, but nobody home. Battle still for it defensively. To the middle, Jorgensen runs past Cubes. Jorgensen, shot knocked away by Metz, diving to her right, and the Cougars hold it in. Good sprint by Avery Littlefield to get there and avoid the corner. Still not out of trouble yet, but that one popped up and out off the left foot of Chloe Voss.
Great diving save by Metz. Hard to tell from here if it was going wide, but Metz had to be sure. And Andover not afraid to test the Centennial keeper from distance. Little side-footed effort, and again, Metz diving to her right. Great alertness to push it aside.
Ooh, just tremendous camera placement from our crew, bringing the heat here in the section championship game.
You'd expect nothing less. And you know, JW, Andover, we talk about common opponents. Andover lost to the Duluth East team that Centennial beat in the semis in the second game of the season 3-1. But this Huskies team has grown a lot since then, so it's hard to know how much to put in that result.
Frost left side, got the worst end of that connection right at the ball. It'll be a goal kick coming up.
Oh, that's a corner. That has to be a corner. I can't believe that it's no apology needed. You had it right, but that is absolutely the Centennial coaching staff can't believe it as you see it here. Watch her try to center it, and it'll go off of her defender and out. I'm not sure how that's a goal kick.
It's right back, though, in front of net for the Cougars. Bouncing pass straighting towards the goal line, and she can't get there. Flanked off the left by Audrey Swinson. They will get a corner out of this one.
I beg your pardon, I was just so stunned by the call, but refs missed that one. But Centennial, no worse for wear. They've got a corner now on the far side.
And here comes Lauren Allis. We mentioned it in the open, 39 assists over the last 3 years. That's 51 games for her since her sophomore season. And booted with the right foot and wide. Marissa Frost there as that one came up short of the far side post. We stay scoreless, headed down towards 27.5 minutes remaining. Cougars keep that from crossing midfield. Drops down to Allie Hamsky, back to Cubes, and they'll play it, as Bill has mentioned, from the back. Working it up the sideline. Littlefield trying to shove that little pass through. The defense knocked away, courtesy of Swinson. Over Huskies won 7 straight and 8 of their last 9. Their last loss came on the 25th of September to Shakopee. They are cruising here as the 1 and 2 seeds into this section championship game. Down the right side, Jorgensen forces Cubes to draw all the way to this near corner. Jorgensen's corner. She was looking for Skyland. Those two were able to connect on a goal the second round against Blaine to get Andover on the board. Turned into the game-winning goals. They shut out the Bengals that night.
And you know this Andover defense is playing pretty stingy when they can hold the Blaine offense scoreless. Obviously the likes of Kendall Stadden.
You were going to face a test. Second straight game. Duluth East played very well in that opening half. Here it's to the middle for Van Zee. Some space. She'll take the shot herself. Rolls it in, and Banker's equal to the task. The junior goaltender, 87% on the save percentage. Less than a goal against per game average, 0.97.
I like that shot from Van Zee, though. Taking a touch, getting it on her right foot, and putting it on net, at least forcing the keeper to do work.
Held in along the near side by Marissa Frost. One thing the Cougars will do, and we haven't seen it yet, and there's nobody waiting to come in yet, but there'll be some substitutions throughout this game for some of these players up front to get fresh legs in with the likes of Tatum Treadle, who we saw play a significant role there in that first game, or rather the semifinal game, second round.
And Treadle's such a key player for Centennial, JW, because she provides that pace up front. 6 goals and 4 assists off the bench, but is in that striker role, and she provides such speed, and that's really good against a tired defense usually that she comes in to face.
First season for Krista Carlson, the head coach, taking over the program from Ginger Flohawk, who stays with the school, but transitioning into a different role. Allie Hamsky from distance. Hamsky's shot just clears the crossbar. Trying to knife one in there for an early lead. 24 and a half remaining here in this first half, and we do get our first substitution, and that's Tatum Treadle, the senior, making her way in.
Oh, that would have been a spectacular opening salvo, but just always rising, not quite enough to keep it down.
Out of bounds right in front of Treadle. See, it goes off of the Cougar senior. Swenson was there defensively. Will take the throw in now. Andover over their last 7 games, they've done it with the defense, yes, but they've had plenty of offense to back it up. They've never allowed more than a goal in any game of those 7, just 3 total, while they've been putting up 29 goals over those 7 games. Talk all you want about the streak of the Cougars getting here off the foul and the free kick. Boom down, but still have plenty to earn here to punch a ticket to the state tournament. That's something these seniors, Bill, were not afraid to talk about. They were glad they were section champs last year, but not a lot came of that in a year where there was no state tournament. You got your section title. The Cougars were dominant again, but they were missing that one extra thing as Strating sends that one sailing wide just to the right. Looked like off the foot it would have a chance at that upper 90 right, and sailed as Coach Carlson has gotten her team right back here.
Yeah, and I think that there is some satisfaction in winning a trophy, obviously, when you can win a section title, but it's really a means to an end. You got to win a section title in order to get a chance at winning a state title. And in a program like Centennial, that is what the goal is on a year-in and year-out basis.
Ooh, and that header misplayed is going to turn into a Cougar corner kick here. So just trying to poke that one out of bounds. Avery Baumhauer. Now the Cougars will have another chance on a third set piece here. In this first half as Hollis takes it. Sends the foot into it, far side post. Hughes was down there, but it trickled past her towards the corner again, where the Huskies are able to hold it in, courtesy of Alicia Hoffman.
Dangerous for the keeper to come out like that and not get it, but Centennial could not make them pay as Cougars commit their first foul of the half.
Hudson bumped into from behind and stumbled down when she hit the deck. Eventually the whistle did come. Free kick here, deep back of midfield. Corner opportunities for the Cougars in this first half. Not really much in the scheme of pressuring their way down the field. Allie Hamsky nearest shot at a goal. That one came from distance. Now the Cougars pushing it down to Strating. Into the corner. And she'll put that one up wide and out to the left side.
I would have liked to see Strading settle the ball on the end line, wait for her teammates to arrive in the box, and then put a cross in. Wouldn't have had to wait more than a second or two, but she just, I think, felt like she had no support, so she had to shoot it. And it was always going to be a tough shot because she was at such a tight angle.
She has flipped sides here from where she started on the left of the goaltender. Treadle came in, she took over that spot and switched over there with Strading as Bordson just kind of bullies her way through that first line of defense. Spinning ball is Andover ball. Out of bounds, deep throw in coming up for the Husky.
Bordson pressing, as they say in soccer terms, and really just putting all kinds of pressure, always buzzing around, high energy, putting pressure on the defense.
That motor is the most noticeable thing about Brooklyn Bordson before you even look at the stat sheet and see what that has turned into as far as 9 goals in the regular season. 3 more in the postseason. Strading just loses that one out of bounds as she tried to settle it. Halfway gone in half number 1. Nothing to speak of on the scoreboard yet. Cougars 16 wins, a 17th will get them back into state tournament play. Back where they were in 2019. Went all the way to the state title game, into the middle. Hollis, she'll take that shot. Trickles off wide to the right. Goal kick coming up.
Well defended as they were pressuring from behind, and
this is what Coach Carlson has behind her now. She won one of those section titles, 8 in the last 13. State title, of course, back in 2016. Lost in the semifinals in 2011, quarterfinals in 2009. That was the first of these runs back in 2009. And here we are. These years later, and just twice since then have the Cougars not at least reached this game.
she's not a big yeller on the sidelines.
Very composed.
Sits there pensively, watching. Certainly has a lot to say at halftime, no doubt.
That's something, though, the name and the head coach has changed. You wouldn't call Ginger Flohog a yeller either. Similar demeanor, calm on the sideline for all those successes over the years. Cougars trying to push their way forward through the middle. Bordson now has it up to Strading. Strading, angle, and that one just off the left foot, curling left and wide. Well, they did put the flag down, she was offsides anyway. Or no, that was pointing for the goal kick, I'm sorry, so it was all good.
Another great cut ball from Bordson into the channel for Strading to run onto. And again, I think she probably had a little more time to settle than she did. It's so hard to hit a ball rolling like that and try to get it on net.
Cubes to the middle, and then they go wide again, right back for Cubes, who is not out of her element in this phase of the game either when she's asked to pressure the ball forward. Stops on a dime, rolls right back to Bordson. He thought she was impeded there. No whistle. Again, a Cougar hits the deck. And it's Cubes who finds her way to the middle and frees it to Ollis. Ollis, little touch pass up to Treadle. Treadle past the keeper. Treadle will knock it home. And the Cougars take a 1-0 lead in this Section 7 finals.
They can counterattack so quickly, JW, and they did that right there. And how about Treadle patiently rounding the keeper and then tapping it in. But a great ball from Ollis out to Treadle, and then Treadle just so poised in front of goal and able to finish for goal number 7. Again, an impact substitution made by Krista Carlson.
Started, as you've said, at the back. They get that play forward and able to finish it off. Lauren Ollis right in the middle for another assist. Addison Van Zee, she knew it.
And it just takes a crazy amount of poise to have a keeper rushing out at you and be able to dink it past her and then calmly slot it into the net. Beautifully done by Centennial and a well-deserved 1-0 lead.
6 assists in the postseason now for Lauren Ollis. Cougars right where they want to be, Bill. I don't think they were worried necessarily, or certainly not flustered in that semifinal game, but when that went scoreless through the first half, it is not where they wanted to be. Knowing they can play defense well and nothing was out of their reach, but feels so much better. 17 minutes to go, getting that 1-goal lead out of the way. Strating, looking for more. Tries to push it all the way to the far side. That one comes up short. The defense at least stall things. Hamsky put pressure right back on. Up came Cubes, and it pops over her, but she had help behind. Ooh, players collide and play on. Ball free for Andover. It's a bouncing ball into Metz off the foot of Jorgensen. We'll keep rolling here inside of 17 minutes to go in this first half. Long boot from Jordan Metz.
There's a saying in soccer, JW, that goals change games because it forces your team to change its strategy, or it forces your opponent to change its approach sometime. And so you'd think Andover can't sit back as much as they might want to. They have to go and try to get that game-tying goal, and that could then expose them to another Centennial counterattack and a potential second Cougar goal.
Treadle eyes up eventually with the left foot, finds her way all the way down to Strating. Strating with Van Zee flashing across her there in the middle, touches it back for Boardson. Boardson, Van Zee on the left. Van Zee all kinds of space. She'll take the shot, headed for that post and off the post. Cleared out by Andover. Addison Van Zee nearly within 2 minutes gave them a 2-0 lead.
It's hard to tell if the keeper got a fingertip to it, but Addison Van Zee just luxuriously taking her time, rolling it out. She had all kinds of time and nearly bent it in that far corner.
Boardson, 2 defenders, work to knife the ball away. Back it comes to the possession of the Huskies. Rolling up, bounding past Cubes, but right in to Jordan Metz. We'll take a look at that last chance, and there's all that space. Bill Van Zee sets up shop, just goes wide.
Yeah, and we talked about the fact that no one closed her down, and so she had time to kind of look up, pick it out, and really get her technique right, and it nearly resulted in a goal.
Cougars the 1-0 lead. Ball came up high.
Handball
McKenna Monson, yep.
Now, we talked about it in the section semifinal as well when Centennial had a 1-0 lead for a while. That next goal is so important, right? Because 2-0 down to Centennial is a tough mountain to climb, right? But 1-1 is then it's anybody's game at that point.
One time the Cougars this year have given up as many as 2 goals in a game, and that's their lone loss, 2-1 to Maple Grove. Hasn't happened much. That's what happens when you're a team with 11 shutouts this season. They, to their credit, never shut out. That final is mentioned in that loss, 2-1 to Maple Grove. Jorgensen able to take it away from Boardson. Talking about something that doesn't happen much. Brooklyn Boardson one-on-one, losing possession near midfield. Hamsky tried to clear it away. Ricochet comes back, and the Cougars able to send it down towards their end. Strating. Ooh, that's a slip and fall, and they're going to get Strating because it didn't look great. It'll be a deep free kick for Andover. Cougars have to be on their toes defensively here. The goal from Tatum Treadle.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, obviously you want to, where you commit fouls matters, but certainly set pieces can be the great equalizer for teams that are struggling in open play to break you down in open play. And so Centennial obviously wants to keep the ball in play and avoid those sort of corners and free kicks in dangerous areas as much as possible.
Before that loss to Maple Grove, the Cougars had started this season 10-0. They had outscored their opponents 51-4 in that stretch. It didn't take anybody very long to recognize that even with the loss of Kaya Harper, an all-time great any way you slice it, the Cougars were back as a team to be reckoned with. They have continued to prove that game by game, and here they've got a 1-goal lead late in the first half of this section title game. Treadle flying to the near side again, puts a lot on that, looking through the middle. Strating can run up on it to put pressure on. Strating gets to it, pops it home with the left foot. Sarah Strating never stopped, and the Cougars are up 2-0.
The defender didn't know that Strating was hot on her heels.
We'll see the replay here in a second, but what a beautiful job by Strading of not giving up on the ball and then just tapping it past the defender. Tapping it past the goaltender, so 2 goals. As we see, just a terrific ball up by Treadle, I believe. And ultimately, Addie Baumhauer, the sophomore, was not aware that Strading was there until it was too late. And Strading converts with the left foot, just taps it in.
Objects in your mirror closer than they appear when it's the speed of Sarah Strading. And how about that ball from not Tessa, that was a few years ago, from Tatum Treadle, who's got a goal already in this game. Jorgensen looking to answer, trying to find Hudson, cut off by the Cougars. Treadle again. She put that ball, Bill, in the middle where nobody was at the time, but a great ball, as you said, to give somebody a chance right there with all kinds of space to run up to it.
Well, much like a quarterback wants to lead his receiver or a great outlet pass in basketball leads the player in for a dunk, similar for that kind of play.
Bordson to Treadle, who puts it hard into the hands of Baker. Nearly came away with the 3rd points in this game as Treadle's got the goal and the assist. 2-0, Cougars in command here, and you were just talking about it, that next goal, so huge. One time the Cougars have given up 2 goals this season, and that was against them in a bad way because they only scored once. Here, they've scored twice. The road is long for anybody gives up 2 goals to the Cougars.
And I would say Centennial looks very focused, very sharp tonight. They're really showing that championship medal.
Addison Van Zee with a high bouncing ball. 3 defenders keeping her company down there. She's still going to put pressure on. She saw what just happened with Sarah Strading. It's out of bounds. It'll earn the possession deep for the Cougars.
Yeah, I mean, I think clearly the defender thought that cross
Van Zee got that foot on it.
Thought that cross was going to be scooped up at the top of the box by the keeper, but then Strading, when she realized it was too late, Strading was already on her shoulder and just nipped around the keeper and just tapped it past her. So it was, the timing was just right for Centennial and just off enough for Andover.
Brooklyn Bordson sends it home. 3-0 Cougars. They took until the final 7 minutes to put the avalanche of goals on Duluth East in the semis. They didn't wait nearly as long in the first 30 of this one to put up 3 goals in the section title game.
I mean, they've scored 3 in 9 minutes, JW. You can tell me the official numbers, but nothing fancy about that. Brooklyn Bordson just absolutely lasering it into the bottom right corner, and nothing that Aria Baker could do about that. A different kind of goal, but a goal nonetheless, and Centennial in complete command here.
7 minutes and 46 second span from the Treadle goal to the Bordson goal, and Tatum Treadle again. She's the one who tapped it to the middle, and Bordson again with space. We've seen that from the Cougars now on this end. If you're the Huskies, it's way too much space. If you're the Cougars, it's space to go to work with, and so far they come away with 3 goals.
Well, you have to know who you're playing against, and normally you could give an attacker space out there and they wouldn't be able to hurt you from distance like that. But the likes of Alice and Bordson and Treadle all have powerful shots from distance, and so you're right, you can't give them time and space like you would normally. You have to close them down.
Substitutions coming in, including at the back end now. Maya Belby, midfielder, checks in for the Cougars. We also get Isabella Sipe, just a 9th grader at the midfield, into the game for the first time. McKenna Skalicki, junior mid, also in.
16 first half shots, JW, so certainly Centennial coming out aggressive offensively, not wanting to reach halftime 0-0, and they emphatically made sure that won't happen.
He talked about the championship medals. Should be no surprise that they have that mentality, they have that toughness. knock away a chance on the near side. Drags all the way down to the corner. Cross wide, and it was out of bounds. But again, that's always the enemy in a game like this, right? If you're the front-running team, you're at home. Not necessarily complacency, but you might play a little bit tight and open up the door for the other team to come burst through. There was none of that. This was the same confident Centennial team, same executing Centennial team, and now they've got themselves a 3-0 lead to protect.
I mean, they've been on the front foot, JW, since the opening whistle, and certainly starting to execute. And they know that if they get enough opportunities and put enough shots on goal, they're going to get the lead. And they have certainly demonstrated that tonight. But you're right, sometimes teams can come in situations like Centennial finds itself and play tight, play with the pressure of expectations. But Centennial has not demonstrated that at all. They've come out and they've played like the champions they expect to be.
Cubes able to shield that one, keep Mets clean. 3 goals in the final 17 minutes so far of this first half.
And I have to believe, JW, that with the experience on this team, they're not going to let up. They're not going to necessarily just say, close up shop with a 3-0 lead, and still 47 minutes left to play. They're going to keep pressing and keep attacking.
Do it right there, basically on an island. Treadle gets it right back. Return to her. Treadle's out in front. Treadle left foot and pulled it too much. And it's going to trickle out along the sideline.
Obviously, a shot like that, it's always going to be tailing away from defenders. And so when you're shooting lefty, you certainly almost want to open your foot up so that you can keep it from bending away from the opposite post.
So the whistle for the foul that did not make the Husky fans happy. It's going to be on the Cougar side of midfield. Brooklyn Boardson will take it now. She'll send it deep down towards Treadle, and a header opportunistic right there.
Oh.
Wow. They're calling that on Treadle?
Yeah, they're saying they assumed. I think the ref who was shielded assumed that Treadle had run into the back of that Andover defender, but she just fell down.
Lydia Norquist, it was a good play because she got up so high to knock that one away, and then coming back down, that's what took her off her feet. Maybe she's in her landing space, I don't know, a little bit. Cougars coming right back at it. Up by 3 in the first half. Cougars going to put themselves in a tough spot by complaining too much. Boardson.
Yeah, hard to complain about much if you're Centennial and Krista Carlson right now.
Sent back in front. It'll be Cougar ball along the far sideline. 5:17 and counting. Section title 8 times in the last 13 seasons for the Cougars. Trying to make it number 9 since 2009.
And the thing is, JW talked about this. Centennial, it sounds a little...
Treadle taps it. Good.
Flag stays down. That's a good goal for the Cougars. Another beautiful ball. And what a first half for Tatum Treadle.
She's been a part of all 4. And she was so fast to that one that it fooled me into thinking the flag might be coming up. But Tatum Treadle not leaving anything to chance and not fooling around in this first half. Off the bench and into the act in this game. Her second goal of the title contest.
I mean, 2 goals, 2 assists, and another beautiful ball over the top. And I think if she had to do it all over again, Aria Baker might be a little quicker off her line for a couple of those goals.
4-0 lead for the Cougars.
Unbelievable efficiency on offense tonight. I mean, and they're just hammering the Andover goal with shots. 18 shots in the first half now for Centennial.
Caroline Lowinger got the assist on that.
Beautiful ball over the top, just great vision and well-timed run. by Treadle. She's just playing, you'd have to think, one of the best games of her life at this point.
She came in with 6 goals in the regular season, 2 in the postseason. She's got 2 goals and 2 assists. Again, the Cougars send this one through. Wittenberg on the near sideline, trying to get it back to Treadle in the middle. She came into this game, Bill, somewhere around the 25, 27-minute mark, something like that. And since then, has impacted on 4 goals. Back to her, right up front, saved away by Baker.
Oh, what a save.
That close to the hat trick in the first half.
That may have been, ironically, her best scoring opportunity as well, but Baker with a beautiful left-hand save, diving to her left, and a strong left hand to keep it out of the net.
And her most impressive shot, too, right? Like her most impressive boot on goal. And it took that kind of save to make it.
I mean, that's soccer, though. You know, the best teams don't always win, and sometimes when you think a goal will absolutely be a goal, the goaltender rises to the occasion.
Huskies push it downfield to try and counter.
And really, you know, JW, it's really been since midway through the first half, from the 20-minute mark on, Centennial has been particularly dominant. Andover, no shots on goal in that time, as you see this great save by Baker here.
Treadle knew how close that came. He's got it again in the middle.
I think Andover just would love to get to the half without any more damage being done.
Right side, save there yet again by Baker. Settles it down as Isabella Sipe was sprinting in. Another beautiful ball from the middle to the right side for Treadle. And the freshman nearly had a chance.
Yeah, another great ball, as I was talking about it, with Treadle, and a nice save by Baker yet again.
Sipe and Treadle working on that right side together.
When Baker has had to just make saves, she's made saves. It's when those 50-50 balls in the middle of the box, and she's kind of come out, and Centennial's just been able to toe poke it past her. That's where there's been trouble tonight for Andover.
Under a minute and a half to go here in this first half. Bordson beats 2 defenders, takes on a third. It's angled out. It'll be a corner. Cougars have got time, coming up on a minute to go to get to another set piece here. Lauren Alice, not on the field, so it will be Allison Hamsky who takes this corner. Sydney Cube still there. She's at the back of the formation. That one, though, pulled by Hamsky. Not much of a chance there with inside of 50 seconds to go.
Tatum Treadle could not play another minute in the second half, and this would be her game. Such has been her impact off the bench, as you said.
Well, and all things being equal, she won't start the second half. You wouldn't think. And then likely, again, come in.
What a luxury, though, that you can bring off a speedy senior striker off the bench. You don't even have to start her, and she would surely start from most teams, and yet she still is such an impact contributor.
Goes to the middle, Bordson. One tap up to Treadle. Treadle, bracketed by defenders, makes her way through. Maintains, goes short, pounds that one past the goal line, and that's how the half will end. Fittingly enough, it ends off the left foot of Tatum Treadle, who scored the first goal in this game just under 18 minutes. Made it 1-0, assisted on 2 more goals, and then capped the half with a 4th goal with just under 5 minutes to go. All good for 22 and the Cougars 4-0. They lead at the half here in this Section 7 title game on North Metro TV.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
Back here at the half, all Cougars in this 7-3A championship game. J.W. Cox alongside Bill Hupp, our entire outstanding North Metro TV crew for this one. 4 goals in the first half, no goals in the first 20 minutes of this game, but the Andover Huskies did put some pressure on. Jordan Metz was able to stop that one, and that set the table for this Cougar offense. Nearly got a first goal from Ali Hamsky, who goes over the crossbar. And then off the bench comes the player of the half, Tatum Treadle. Bang. There's goal number 1 off the feed from Lauren Ollis. Brooklyn Bordson goes to the near side. Addison Van Zee looking for a second. That's how close it came. And then it was still Treadle with a hand in the action. From deep past midfield, sends this one right down the middle. And Sarah Strading, the speed and the footwork to tap that with the left foot and in. 2-0 Cougars with under 12 and a half to play. More pressure from Centennial. Up 2-0. Brooklyn Bordson runs on it from Treadle again and bangs it home with the right foot. It's 3-0 with 10 minutes to go. And then off this set piece, it's through. Treadle stays on side, taps it home with the left foot. Nearly Treadle ended up with a 3rd goal in this half. But a brilliant save from Aria Baker, made it 4-0 still. And Bill, that first line, that's really all you need to know. We talked about it. Cougars putting shots towards the goal, 21-3, out shooting Andover in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, they really blitzed the Huskies from pillar to post, but played especially well in the second half of the first frame. And you know, now we expect them to keep their foot on the gas, but certainly playing with house money, up 4 goals with just a half left between them and the state tournament.
Substitutions that were made in the second half, now back reverse. Starters like Ollis back out there. And, well, you play that well in the first half, and against what I said, Tatum Treadle is starting the second half, Bill, so she is out there. On the right side is Strading, crosses it to Ollis, who tried to settle it down and kick it home at the same time, and got caught in between that step as the save was made by the Andover keeper, Baker.
Yeah, I mean, a beautiful pass to the front, to the near post, and Ollis was nearly there to tap it home. But yeah, just a really good game as you see here. Great cross, and Ollis just losing her footing on this turf, and Baker able to make the save. And really, I think when you look at the sort of consistency with those goals, the consistent theme was Centennial getting to the ball just a half second sooner than the keeper. So 50-50 balls playing a real big part of this game. Centennial winning the races to those balls just a step quicker to the balls than Andover, and that's paid dividends for the Cougars in the form of goals in that first half.
Hollis down the middle again. You talked about it when it was 1-0, Bill, and we were mentioning how that next goal was obviously so crucial, and goals change games. Well, you're down 4-0 with less than 40 to play. What's the change that you expect Andover to put on here? You can't go too drastic or all of a sudden you're giving up all kinds of things on the back end, but they have to do something to get more pressure and find their way back in this one if they're going to have a chance.
Well, I think if you're looking to get as much offense as possible, you change formation. Maybe you have 2 up top instead of a single striker, and you try to just commit as many players forward as possible every time you get a free kick or a corner kick, any kind of set piece. But ultimately, I think in reality, if you're trying to be realistic about the approach, I think Coach Tracy Grice just has to be looking for silver linings and, probably talk to her players at halftime, I would think, about just kind of taking whatever positives they can from this game. Because 4 goals against the Centennial team, her players are smart. They'll know the kind of uphill battle they have in front of them. But at the same time, there's still plenty to play for. Pride representing that Andover shirt well, and trying to do something and put in a second half performance that they can build on next year, because as we said, this is a team that features a lot of sophomore contributors.
Treadle had eyes on getting that one back to the middle for Lauren Allis. She was a sophomore contributor 3 years ago, and now, as we mentioned off the top, Lauren Allis, a Miss Soccer finalist after the tremendous year she has put together already, assisting on the first goal of this game, which has been a huge part of her game, right along with scoring. Nothing to sneeze at in the goal totals over the last 3 years for Lauren Allis as well. She has put in 27 goals through the results of the section semis this year, going back to 2019 where she scored 8 goals, 7 in 2020 in the shortened year in 14 games, and then 12 more this year.
I think if you're Centennial, really if you're either team, if you're getting in the habit of looking at the scoreboard and paying too much attention to it, it's easy to do that and get complacent or get dejected if you're an Andover Husky. But that's why you really can't do that. You really just have to keep playing and not think too much about the deficit.
Beautiful ball from Strading to center that, but it just whipped its way past Van Zee. Held in up front by Hamsky. Boardson winds, fires off the crossbar, back down to Van Zee. Strading there too. And a whistle.
Maybe a handball, I'm not sure
Yeah, I
what
didn't
the
see
call
what that
is.
call was.
But absolute rocket from Boardson to rattle the crossbar.
It's the first attempt as it was tapped back by Allis. Boardson found that space. Hear that rattle. Yeah, maybe right there. Ball getting up too high on Van Zee. Cougars bring it right back. Van Zee stutter steps, lost it, and cleared on that far side. Deep throw in coming up for the Cougars.
Outstanding defense there for Andover, and Chloe Voss, who kind of bothered Van Zee's shot from behind, didn't allow her to get a clear look at goal.
Van Zee takes the quick boot on this. It drops in play far side, and Treadle just can't hang on to it. Such an interesting Cougar program, Bill. You go back to all those years, even in 2009, and those great seasons initially in this run. This was a team that had a lot of good defensive players, and they played very defensive soccer at times and were winning games that way. Boardson looking for more splitting defenders, trying to tap it to Allis. Knocked only as far back as Treadle. Her left foot, that one makes its way all the way to Baker. And you can breathe again and maybe get a thought out with this Cougar offense continuing to put pressure on there. But that's exactly the point, right? They go from that, and then as Coach Flohog and now Coach Carlson have had different crops of players and different people to plug in different spots, they've done an amazingly good job all throughout of adapting their style of play to what those key players and what the bulk of their team was set up to do. And clearly with Kaya Harper last year, you could be an offensive team because she could lead from the front in the way she could score from almost anywhere. And now this year with that balanced dynamic of scoring and speed and ability through the midfield, they've led to become a much more offensive team as well, which has also helped them on that defensive side still be stellar on that end.
Well, JW, I think that's absolutely right. And I'm a firm believer that I think you have to adapt your system of play to what your players can do. You have to play to your strengths as a team. And credit to Krista Carlson and to Ginger Flohog as well for doing that over the years. And that's how I think you sustain success, is if you do have an adaptability to your system and your style of play to how your team is set up. I think that's where you're going to find the most success, is a foul called on the end line here. Andover students
didn't like it,
far away, not liking it, but that's a pretty clear infraction.
Will be the goal kick for Mets.
And also, but also you have to know too, as you're adapting that style, you have to give it time to work. You have to put it in place early, like in the summers, and make sure that your kids, you're not asking them to completely change the way you're playing, but you're just trying to sort of fine-tune it on the margins to adapt as needed to what your best players can do. Andover, all they can do is foul Tatum Treadle at this point.
Treadle knocked down in the midfield. She has given it her all since coming in off the bench. I think that brings you to another point of development too, right? At this level, whatever the sport is, but specifically soccer here, I think we may also be seeing the dividends of developing different skill sets, still within that same approach that they had back in 2009. Like you said, maybe adjusting on those margins a little bit, but now all of a sudden you're producing more players that are more confident on the offensive side, more players that are more confident with the ball handling, and that turns into a more dynamic team offense. And it really is just success breeding success within this Cougar program in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's about establishing a program culture and a program expectation, and certainly Centennial has done that over the years. So these players come in knowing that they are expected to achieve what their predecessors have done. And like you said, success breeds success, and that culture, that winning mentality, has certainly shown through tonight.
Boardson crosses, Alice was there, and it just goes wide of her toe. 9 minutes into this second half. Cougars came in with a 4-0 lead, sitting on that right now. Clock continues to spin, and they have kept the pressure on. You said it, they're not taking the foot off the gas at all, and they're still that close to multiple goals already here in the second half. Van Zee, her cross, drives deep past the goal line, and a goal kick coming out.
Well, and if you think about it, all of these players want goals too. They've seen what Tatum Treadle has done, 2 goals and 2 assists. They all have numbers that they have built up over the course of the season, and they certainly want to add to that. So they want to get in on the offensive act and have some fun tonight too. It's not in this team's style to sit back and kind of nurse a 4-0 lead.
This ball finds its way through. Hudson knocked off her spot, and the ball trickles out, and they say nothing there. So a goal kick coming up for the Cougars.
Some curious decisions tonight, and that 100%. Was potentially one of them is actually just kind of shoulder barging over. I thought that was going to be a free kick from right outside the box, as you see it here. Just kind of a coming together, and nudged off the ball by Avery Littlefield.
And to the point, though, some of the calls we have seen that have been called that either way, right, where there seemed to be very little, if any, contact at all. You were expecting the whistle to come that time. Did not against the Cougars. They've got a chance with Hamsky to clear it out on the far side to Boardson.
And look how quickly they're transitioning from defense to offense.
And that's what I was going to say. How key is it on a team to have a player like Brooklyn Boardson, who, with the motor that she has, also tacks on that skill as well to be almost untouchable through that middle part of the field.
Yeah, the pace, and she is not afraid to track back and defend, but then she can pick that ball up in the final third and then bring it through the midfield and just carry it with that speed and kind of get the defenders on her back, and that makes them so dangerous as a team. You saw the difference right there from the first half with Arya Baker. Came off her line faster and was able to get to that ball before Sarah Strading on that through ball. So Baker adjusting to lessons learned the hard way in the first half.
Boardson finds Treadle, settles back to the middle, looking for Van Zee. Knocked down again by Treadle. Cleared all the way towards the middle. Hamsky in there with Hudson. Fight with Littlefield as well to take possession away for the Cougars, but Hudson able to nudge it just off the field right side, and that's an offside from me to you to Ham Lake, and it'll come back for a goal kick for Jordan Metz.
It's okay to look for the flag there. That was a clear offside.
That one we knew, and that one I think Andover certainly knew too. They just not expecting the defense to collapse back as it did. Free kick for the Cougars. The Cougars in a championship game against a tremendous Andover team. As this ball bounces free, Van Zee and Strating in near the net. Van Zee right into Baker, who makes the stop. Van Zee tumbles over and pops up just in time. Arya Baker makes the save.
Yeah, nearly bundled in another goal. I think these would be known if it were hockey, JW, as greasy goals. Some of the goals that we've seen tonight. Here's another look at it. Baker falling on it just as Van Zee arrived.
Alice sprinting ahead. She'll shoot, she'll score. Miss Soccer says hello here in the second half, and it's 5-0 Cougars.
Absolutely nothing that Arya Baker could have done on that one, as it just rocketed directly over her head, right underneath the crossbar. We talked about in the first half, Lauren Alice having that powerful right foot and not being able to shoot, not being afraid to shoot from anywhere, and she demonstrated it right there. A beauty of a goal here in the second half.
Just a beautiful game for these Cougars in this section finals. As Alice scores, tacks on what she already had with her 6th assist of the postseason, 3rd goal of the postseason. Coach Carlson does not tend to get too over-animated on the sideline. Now, no reason to. Alice just straight down the gut bill to finish with the big right foot.
And that just kind of looped up and down. But again, if you're Andover, you've got to close out. You can't hang back in the box.
Finds its way all the way down.
I mean,
Cougar corner.
Credit to Lauren Alice's skill as we see her trot over to take this one from the near side. And credit her skill, but at the same time, Andover maybe could have approached things differently defensively.
Alice from the corner where she can be dangerous, puts this one low, and that allowed Andover to come over and get the first touch. Hamsky back to Alice. Time breaking down onto there, so she couldn't really use that as another set piece. Cleared out the Cougar ball. She had designs though, Bill, on kind of making that another corner attempt from 15 feet further in.
Yeah, well, again, Van Zee in there hustling to break it up and to continue to put pressure on this Andover net. And Addison Van Zee, not on the score sheet, but she has just been a nuisance up front all night long against this Andover defense.
Whistle against Andover here. So right side of the box for this foul. Alice will have something to work with here. Yeah, Van Zee has quickly become the person in this game where, along with the other Cougars who you mentioned, they're trying to find their way to have some fun and get on the stat page too, as you see the push from behind on Treadle. Once and twice. I think the first one actually drew the whistle. But Van Zee's that player you're really rooting for here because she's been so close. And that kick finds its way all the way into Baker.
Yeah, she just feels like she's had some real near misses, as obviously Bordson, Treadle, and Alice have been the stars of the show tonight for Centennial. Oh, great touch.
Alice wide, and she angles that one out to the right. Yeah, beautiful ball to the outside for her. And just 5 Cougars about to come into this game, Bill.
Sorry, JW. Just to settle that down as quickly as she did and get the shot off. It was always going to be a tough shot because she was going toward the end line away from the goal. But to just trap that ball mid-stride, it just takes so much skill, as the Centennial bench getting some well-deserved run in this second half.
Well-deserved rest for Tatum Treadle. Back to the bench after she came in and sparked this team right around the 27-minute mark or so. Had a hand in each of the first 4 goals of this game. Also, the bandwagon for Addison Van Zee takes a hit as she will sit too.
and you wonder if they're going to rest the rest of the game.
Correct.
Or will be back toward the end to kind of finish it off and be on the field when the section title is confirmed. But regardless, we shouldn't expect to see anything different. This Centennial squad, even on its bench, is deep and will no doubt continue to press hard.
And that's the other aspect. We touched on it a little bit in the first half. A lot of these players who are seniors now got opportunities, maybe in moments like this, not always in games that weren't closer than this, sometimes in hotly contested games as well, coming off the bench to play key roles. And that's how you gain the confidence. And the way to get experience is to go out there and play. And that's been something that's happened for sophomores and the like throughout this program's history.
And you also have some players that are getting rewarded for sticking around, some seniors and juniors that don't get as much shine and or as much time, but are there at practice day in and day out, you know, busting it like the rest of their teammates. So it's good to see them get some run and get an opportunity to play in big games like this one, like a section final.
So as we move from the Addison Van Zee bandwagon to get a goal to the Malia Belby bandwagon, a senior midfielder coming in off the bench too. Falls into that category. She's had an impact on this season and this team certainly. But now a chance here with more than 20 minutes to go to get some time on the field.
And you still have players like Brooklyn Bordson and Lauren Ollis out there to settle things down and to make sure that nothing gets too out of hand. And so even when you bring in 5 substitutions, you're still left with some all-staters out there to make sure that the works don't get gummed up.
Knocked down along the near side, Avery Littlefield. Give a lot of credit to what Sydney Cubes does. She stands literally head and shoulders above a lot of people out there on that defensive back line, but players like Littlefield just as strong back there. Hamsky, who kind of at times can be a defensive-minded midfielder. Lowinger, who's another starter senior at that back end. It's just a solid back line of defense, too, for these Cougars, Bill. And you know you have to have that when you're a team that, at the moment, working on shutout number 12 of the season. Wide on that far side.
Well, the flag's up on the near side, so offside on Centennial, but yeah, absolutely. And the defense of Centennial so well organized, and then you've got a player like Brooklyn Bordson who kind of sits in that little sweeper role, can drop deep and play in that sort of number 6 role and make sure that things get organized and help the Cougars transition from defense to offense. But that back line is so organized, and that's where it starts, with that leadership and with the fact that they all know their roles and they're willing to play those roles selflessly.
That's what you touched on from the start of this game when it was still scoreless. Playing and developing things from the back. You have to not just have good defenders back there, but just good players overall who know what they're about, know the angles, and have the skill to be able to change the field quickly. And they've got that all across that back line. Huskies with some possession, mostly hemmed up in the midfield. They'll get Lauren Ollis for the bump there. And it's not me laughing because there was a lack of contact there. It was because there was a lot less than we've seen deeper in the field, and so the Husky fans certainly ruining opportunities missed and not called in this second half. But all of it getting close to being deemed too little, too late after a 4-0 first half for the Cougars. Lauren Ollis has scored in this second half. And yeah, a little premature maybe to call her Miss Soccer, but she is the representative and the nominee, which not everybody gets nominated either, much less winning that award. So quite the honor for her headed into the latter stages of this senior season.
Well deserved, and you know, we talked about it on a team, you know, full of quality contributors, but no one real standout. She's a good representative for that team. Numbers are good, not spectacular, not as good as some other players in the state, but her impact goes beyond numbers.
That's exactly the thought I had coming up here tonight and thinking about her being that Miss Soccer finalist.
It definitely has the MVP feel of it, right? She doesn't have the Kaya Harper crooked numbers as Sipe settles it down herself on the far side. Harper, a Miss Soccer winner. Some of the other big time numbers as Bordson sends it through, and it's 6-0. Bordson second as she beats the new keeper, Haley Mao.
I mean, second blast from distance for Brooklyn Bordson. Absolutely just gets her laces through it, and a very similar goal to the one we saw Lauren Allis score earlier this half. Bordson with a couple just gorgeous strikes from distance that, you know, I don't care who's in net for Andover, whether it's Ariana Baker or Haley Mao, neither keeper could do much to stop those shots.
21 goals now in the postseason run for the Cougars. 26-0 over their last 3 games, plus this one with under 19 minutes to go. The Cougars dominating their way through. They won 2 games. Final game of September, first game of October, both by 1-0 scores. That's against Champlain Park and Stillwater. Very good programs, very good teams as you look back at Bordson.
And again, just takes a touch, able to sort of, you know, set her feet, if you will, and just absolutely, despite Mao's best effort, just absolutely sneaks it under that crossbar, but with so much power and pace, very hard to stop.
Won those games following the loss to Maple Grove 2-1. Cougars won those 1-0 games against Champlain Park and Stillwater, and then since then have gone on a run that has seen them average 6 goals per contest, scoring 30 goals over their last 4, plus what we've played in this one, with still 17:40 to go. They turned it on. They left no doubt. And they are about to find their way to a 3rd straight section title.
And if you think about it, if not for a couple fantastic saves by Baker, it could be 8 or 9.
Almost this lopsided in that first half. Addison Van Zee's back in there, fighting in the middle, answering some of the questions about the substitutions. Lauren Allis sits.
See if Van Zee, sorry JW, see if Van Zee plays in that Bordson role, more of that sort of central, almost roving midfielder, or if she is up top. She seems pretty versatile.
Now they've got Sipe as the deepest back as this one comes up. It will be a goal kick now.
Have not seen every Centennial game this season, but can't imagine the Cougars have played much better than this. They are, as we said, they seem to be anyway, peaking at exactly the right time.
Just is more of a statement on how good this game, how good they've looked in this game. And unfortunately, injury for Andover is Bella Schrader, sophomore defender, slow to get up. So teams will come together here with time stopped. And Schrader
is kind of hopping on that right foot.
Been dealing with something already. That was just a final straw there.
Bring the cart over.
It is a young squad for these Andover Huskies. You talked about a bill to start this second half. This is something to put on their ledger as being battle tested. Yeah, there's some seniors where this outcome is going to be tough to take. Allie Overon, Brianna Stocky, those seniors. But this is a team now that will look to use this going into next year and become a force to be reckoned with yet again after 12 wins and 18 chances this season.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly 12-7, a respectable season, 3rd in the conference behind 2 of the best teams in the state, best programs in the state. So the Huskies are where they want to be, you would think. Obviously, they like to be winning these kind of games, but you have to get to these kind of games first before you can win them sometimes. And certainly learning some tough lessons tonight, but ones that, like you said, they hope to build on in the future.
Goal kick coming up for the Cougars.
And again, you just have to imagine that players like Marissa Frost and Addison Van Zee, they're going to become the new leaders of this team, in theory, after the seniors depart. And they will carry on the torch and hopefully for Centennial teach that championship medal and help carry on the tradition of success for Centennial, no matter how this year turns out.
They still have work to be done. State tournament starting next week.
New goalkeeper in for Centennial.
Gabby Corcoran.
Jordan Metz gets a well-deserved hand.
You mentioned it, sometimes nice to be on the field for that final horn, but also nice for a player like Metz, a sophomore who's had such a great season. Come off and get your moment in the spotlight a little bit. Folks can cheer. Under 15 minutes to go. Whistle goes in favor of the Cougars here.
And I continue to mention players like Frost and Van Zee, but I'd be remiss not to call out like Addison Wittenberg and Isabella Sipe and Jordan Metz and Madeline Skalicki, who all should return next year.
Pure conjecture on my part, but you look and watch where they're playing Isabella Sipe, right? The freshman, she has been up top as with that bench unit in there. They seem to have a lot of trust in her and a lot of, I guess, hope for her potential to be one of those big-time strikers. And that should portend pretty good things for this Cougar offense, to have a player as a freshman. She's right there on the beam to try and peel that possession away right there, but they've got her in a spot to do some damage, Bill, up there when she gets the chances, and that opportunity will only increase as she gets older and older in this program.
Absolutely, and she did have 3 goals and 4 assists this season. Saw her score against Spring Lake Park earlier this year, so certainly knows she is capable, and she's getting that just enough kind of experience, and you figure improving every day in practice as well against playing against teammates as good as she has.
Think of the second team of offense, that theory going against those best defenders who we've just been lauding. Earning everything you get in practice and certainly getting better. Cougars 2 goals in this second half after a 4-0 lead at halftime. And it's some usual suspects who are not on the board for goals, or excuse me, Bordson scores her second, Lauren Ollis scores her first, but usual suspects getting the goals in the second half put this game officially out of reach and all but over for the Cougars. And those starters are up and moving on that Cougar bench, and so what Bill was forecasting is potentially going to come to fruition here. They're all standing around Coach Carlson. You can see there, maybe they will get to come out here and in these final 12 minutes, see if they're the ones on the field when the section title for the 3rd straight season. No, nothing but pretty much for these seniors on this team.
Yeah, maybe all seniors to fill things out or to finish things off for Centennial.
This class would have seen that disappointment in 2018 when they lost to Maple Grove for the program's 2nd straight season. Probably not all of them, right, on the varsity squad as freshmen. Their time in the program, that's how it began, with a loss in 2018 in the section finals. Now they sit up 6-0 here, just 11 minutes away from making it a 3rd straight section title, a 2nd trip in 3 years, 2nd trip in as many tournaments back to state.
And we'll see if they run into the Crimson in the state tournament. That's certainly been a matchup they've had in years past, obviously, in the state title game. And it's been their one big nemesis Obviously, Edina will be a strong contender, the top-ranked team all season long. A lot of good teams out there. And I would circle Edina and Maple Grove as two of the biggest threats for Centennial in the state tournament this season.
It's been the fun thing to watch, too, over this consistency that they've had at the section level. You know, you get the best of the best and the next level up when you go to the state tournament. And maybe early on in some of those runs, the Cougars losing in the quarterfinals the first time they went to the state tournament, but 2 years later they go back and they go to the semifinals. Quarterfinal loss in 2012. They won the third place game in 2014. Better and better competing against those then top programs at that next level up at the state tournament. And now the Cougars, certainly a program undeterred by anybody at this level or the next, as in goes Morgan Neffley, and she's able to score and put Andover on the board.
Morgan Neffley, one of those sophomores we talked about. Brother Connor used to be the quarterback at Andover a couple years ago, but certainly making a name for herself here tonight. And Centennial, you know, wanted that shutout with less than 10 minutes left to play, but Andover continuing to hustle and get after it, and their persistence pays off.
On the board, Cougars' first goal that they've allowed in the postseason. And it drives, they were able to drive down deep there. And the challenge coming out for Corcoran, the junior, and she just could not corral it.
Yep, and again, similar to the Centennial goals, just a step quicker.
Strating going up top, and she just chipped that one a little bit too high. Goal kick coming up for Andover. We had under 9 minutes to play in this section title game.
And Centennial, as we said in the first half, they have shown their championship medal from start to finish, really been on the front foot from the beginning. And whether it's bringing players like Tatum Treadle off the bench or their starters chipping in, Brooklyn Bordson a couple goals, Lauren Ollis a goal and an assist.
Another save opportunity, save made, but on the rebound, the shot goes home from Lauren Wright. And just like that, it's 6-2.
Don't call it a comeback. Andover 2 in the last minute and a half. And giving their fans on the far side something to cheer about. Centennial just falling asleep a little bit on the back, and Corcoran makes the initial save, but saves it unfortunately right into the path of Wright, who makes no mistake.
Probably enough to sharpen up the Cougars yet again for this final 8.5, you would think. Seeing two get past them as that attack forming on that right side.
Yeah, and you know, you don't know if it's just complacency or the hard work of Andover or a combination of both, but that was a fun statistic for a little while, that they had only given up more than a goal in the game in their lone loss to Maple Grove.
Strating trying to get one back, deflected into the middle for Ollis.
I know Ollis wants to get a goal though.
Back to the middle, and it's scooped up by Mao as Malia Belby tried to return the favor back to the middle for Ollis.
If there is such a thing as momentum in soccer, it's certainly with the white and gold at the moment, but obviously Centennial well in control of this one.
Up 6-0 before the first goal. This came at the 10-minute mark of this second half. Cougars have been in command. They scored 13 minutes into half number 2 to go up 5-0. Picking up 4 goals in the final 18 minutes of half number 1. Ollis
stealing the ball, rampaging through the midfield.
Finds Bordson. Rampaging of her own. Steps around a defender, but led it too much into the foot of Audrey Swenson, who clears it out.
I think just dipping her shoulder and just ducking past one defender after another, and not sure if she was looking to get the hat trick, but finally dealt with by the Andover defense.
Littlefield dumps it up. Treadle out there on the receiving end of that, never made its way to her. She's also hunting that hat trick, came a finger length away from doing that in the first half. 2 goals for her in the first half to go with 2 assists for Tatum Treadle. Coming up on 6 minutes to go here at Cougar Stadium, and it's going to be the site of another section title for this Centennial girls soccer program. So many years, our fall coverage makes this stop. The Cougars, either here or as a 2 seed somewhere else, playing in a section title game. More often than not, we've been able to stick around and watch them take the top spot medals and receive that championship plaque. Start thinking about the state title run that could be.
It's a sure sign of mid-October, isn't it?
Absolutely. Treadle has Strating in the middle. Not a lane to get it to her against the good defense down in the corner. Now she turns and fires. Now dumps down right in front of Strating, waiting for that crossing attempt. 5-minute mark of half number 2.
Creative from Treadle to even get the cross in, as she had to be patient with that.
Cougars don't mind with the 4-goal lead being patient. Goal scorer right, trying to maintain possession for the Andover Huskies along the near side. Sent up in the neighborhood of Treadle. Cleared out by Andover. Deep on the far side, throw in coming up for the Cougars.
And Centennial should get the draw in the next day or 2 for that state tournament that starts next week.
In front, Treadle knocked down by Mao.
Treadle just cannot break through to get that hat trick, but it's not for a lack of effort.
Both goaltenders turning her away on excellent opportunities in front. Under 4 minutes to go. Strating running on to another. Strating shoots and knocks it home. Another for Strating, and 7-2. The Cougars have the advantage.
And another assist for Brooklyn Bordson. Beautiful down line into the channel. Strating runs onto it and slots it home. Bordson with 2 goals and an assist here now here tonight. And it may sound funny because, you know, they were up 6-2 and scored the first 6 goals, but I'm sure the Cougars feel better about, you know, maybe scoring what could be the last goal of the game. And I think they are going to be happy that they were able to get one back after conceding the last 2.
Tapped ahead by Bordson, as Bill mentioned, and then the right way off the post, right side for the score.
Strating scored a late goal in the section semifinal too, I believe.
She had the second one of the night. Was able to make that one 2-0. Here, the wider margin.
Krista Carlson smiling and laughing on the sideline. And she has to be very proud of what her team has accomplished tonight.
Strating and Treadle working up the left side. Why stop now? Bordson knocked down, no call. Why would there be 3 minutes to go in a 5-goal game? Huskies never stopped. Certainly the case. As you see from the 2 goals late. Got an avalanche of 4 goals in the first. 2 in a 10-minute span in the second. Too much from the Cougars. Strating again, trying to cross that one to Treadle. It sucks in too far to Haley Mao. Time the only factor, coming up on 2 minutes to go. Rolling on the clock here. Cougars and Huskies scoreless for the first 20 minutes plus of this first half. And the Cougars got on the board as Tatum Treadle came off the bench and scored at 17:57 left in the first half. Treadle would assist on the next 2 goals. Strading got 1 5 minutes later. 2 minutes after that, it was Boardson. 3-0 Cougars, and then Treadle with less than 5 minutes to go in the first half gave them a 4-0 lead with her second goal of the half. 3 minutes into the second half, 13 minutes into the second half, Lauren Ollis scored her first goal of the night, third of the postseason, to make it 5-0 before Boardson got her second of the night 9 minutes later to make it 6-0. The 2 Andover goals from Knopfler and Wright, and then Sarah Strading joins the 2-goal club tonight moments ago to make it 7-2. The final minute of this section tournament, standing between the Cougars and a 3rd straight section title, the 9th in the last 14 seasons. Controlled by Corcoran, taking her time with 40 seconds left. Cougars opened up, winning 10 straight. They would lose to Maple Grove for their lone loss of the season. From there on, they knew another 7-game winning streak would put them back where they were a season ago, but this time with a chance to play on in the state tournament. They've taken care of the first 6 they needed in that stretch. And now, officially, as the horn and the countdown is on, the Cougars are section champs once again. 3rd straight for Centennial. And that class and this team just continue to excel every fall. Seniors out there in the heart of that circle. This is all they've known. Their freshman year, the team loses in the section title game. They come back and win it 3 consecutive seasons. And now a state tournament run awaits them. They were all huge parts of it in 2019. And now get to write that kind of story again in 2021. Bill's downstairs. He's going to get a chance to talk to a couple of Huskies, a couple of Cougars off this effort.
Congratulations to both teams on a great season. At this time, we would like to recognize the Section 7 AAA runner-up, the Andover Huskies. Administration from Andover is here to present the runner-up trophy, and individual medals will be handed out at a different time. Congratulations again to the Section 7 AAA runner-up, the Andover Huskies.
At this time, we'd like to recognize
Cougars.
the Section 7 AAA champions, the Centennial Cougars.
Now,
administration from Centennial is here to present the championship trophy.
Championship plaque handed out. And yet again, they get to mob that plaque for the 9th time in 14 seasons. And the 3rd straight year, the Cougars are section champs. State tournament coming up, starting next week, as Bill mentioned. Seeding gets settled out on that in the coming days once all the section games are wrapped up. And all smiles for these Cougars who win it 7-2. Traditional picture, the wave to their fans. 10-0 to start the season. One loss to Maple Grove, 2-1. Number 5 team in the state, the game-winning goal, and that one coming with just 6 minutes left. And then a 7-game win streak to run their way to a section title. A 7-game win streak that featured just 3 goals allowed. And in the final 5 of those 7 games, including this one tonight, the Cougars scoring 4 or more goals. Some new faces, some familiar faces, but the same result for these Cougars. And that is a section title. Bill down there waiting for the opportunity to talk to some of these Huskies, or some of these Cougars. But the business at hand first. That initial celebration of this accomplishment. That's the thing. I mean, all of these seniors, the upper class players too, just 2 years ago, they went to the state tournament, not new. They know what this is about and that the goals this program has and can achieve at the upper reaches of girls soccer here in the state of Minnesota. But for right now, and for the next couple of days, it's all about savoring that moment right there. The hard work to get here, the hard work to finish it off, and the well-earned bag of candy for all involved. Smiles all around. Hugs too. Treadle scoring twice, Strading scoring twice, Bordson scoring twice. Allis with the other. Assist for Allis, 2 assists for Treadle, excuse me. Caroline Lowinger also picked up an assist, getting on the score sheet, as did the freshman Isabella Sight. Cougars will be a waiting game to see what the schedule is like for the state tournament. All the creative fun you can have. Brooklyn Bordson, a well-deserved moment of elation there. Double-digit goals. An impressive balance. Is that Treadle? Hoisting, Strading, or hoisting Bordson and the flag. For the Andover Huskies, talked about it at the end of the game. Just a couple of seniors on the roster. Disappointment undoubtedly for them that their time in the program comes to an end. But they have left behind a rising program that has an opportunity to do things in the future, and like these Cougars have done. Let's go down to the field with Bill Hupp standing by.
I'm down on the field here with Tatum Treadle, Brooklyn Bordson, and Sarah Strading, 3 key members from this Centennial Cougars team that won yet another Section 3A title. And I have to start by asking you all, does winning ever get old?
No, not at all. No.
Did you feel any pressure coming into this game, knowing how much success this program has had and that the expectation is to make the state tournament on a yearly basis? Is there pressure or is that a privilege? Do you feel honored to have that expectation?
I feel kind of both pressured and it's great to have such a great program. But we've had a target on our backs all year. We just have to keep working hard and keep playing as a team and keep passing the ball and playing good soccer. Not football, sorry.
Brooklyn, is the instruction from Coach Carlson to shoot at will, because you took a couple long distance shots tonight and they worked out. Lauren scored from distance as well. There's a real fearlessness with which this team plays.
Oh yeah, they told us to take a lot of shots out wide because they were going to pack the bus, and we did it, and we actually got a lot of goals off it, so it worked.
Tatum, 2 goals and 2 assists in the first half, coming off the bench. Have you ever played a better half of soccer, let alone a better game?
No, I don't think I have played a better game of soccer, honestly. I don't know. I was just really pumped for this game, and it was a big game, so I had to come out with a bunch of energy, and it was 0-0, so I just had to, I wanted to do something out there, and it was great because they were there. I played both balls to them, and they, scored it. Perfect. And it was great because, can't get an assist if you don't finish it, so yeah, it was good.
Sarah, you scored a goal late in the second half, and you could have sat back and taken it easy with a 4-0 lead, but you put another 2 goals in and then added 1 on late. This team really seems to play 2 full halves of soccer every game out.
Yeah, for sure. I think the fact that it was our last game on this field really made a big impact on our playing.
All the seniors were ready to go.
Yeah, we were.
We wanted to win it. At half, we were this is our last 40 minutes on this field, and we got to give it all we got.
Yeah, and that leads me to my last question for all of you. What has it meant to be a part of this program, and can you sum up your feelings having finished off the last game you'll ever play on this field with a win?
It's really cool to be part of this program. I mean, making it to the state tournament multiple years in a row and always being in the section final, it's really cool, and we always have a target on our back, so it's really fun to be a part of this program.
Yeah, it's really great. From a young age, we were able to freshmen and sophomores, we were able to be a part of this and go to state, and it's great to do it our last year too.
It's just been fun playing with these girls all throughout life, developing, and finally getting to this final stage and getting to state now. It's been great.
What's it going to take to bring home the state title to Circle Pines?
A lot of teamwork and to play soccer as a team, a lot of energy hard work. Just total football. Yeah.
All right, Sarah Strading, Tatum Treadle, and Brooklyn Bordson, 3 of your champions here tonight for the Centennial girls soccer team. Yeah. Best of luck at state, girls.
Thank you.
Can't get enough of this Cougar program, this Cougar team, and 3 tremendous seniors right there who have propelled them to yet another berth in the state tournament. 7-2 the final. Thanks to Bill down there on the field. Thanks to our entire North Metro TV crew. I'm J.W. Cox. Cougars win it again every single year. We're here, and more often than not, they've come away with a section title. They do it again in 2021 and will play on into the state tournament. A game that you watched right here in your home for the Cougars, the Bengals, and the Panthers, North Metro TV. Good night, everybody.